What do you normally say?
Good morning, children.
Good morning, children.
That's not me.
You're less...
That doesn't sound like me. Try to be me.
Good morning, children. You're in the light again.
I don't sound like that.
Good afternoon, children.
I don't sound like that.
Good morning, children.
Stop. You've lost your rights to this. You start off like, good morning, children. This was a bad idea.
Was it? Take 25.
Okay. Happy Halloween, children.
Happy Halloween.
Even though it is Halloween, this is going to be a TBR for November, and I wanted to have a bit of a theme, with November being focused on family, friends, you know, all that good junk. So I'm starting off with my dork of a boyfriend who is going to choose my TBR for me next month. This means he is going to get to choose just about everything I read.
It's not good.
I'm excited to see what he's chosen, although I'm expecting like a pile of dictionaries and like encyclopedias or something.
That was option one, but I decided against it because I thought that would be really hard to try and review.
So
well, I was going to say you need to show off your costume.
I am spaghetti.
Did a plate of spaghetti wear it better, or did she?
And then this cutie right here is Guy Fieri because we had to do a couple's costume.
Go into Flavor Town.
So, the only book I'm going to be picking for this month for myself, we're actually reading with book club, so I mean, sort of picking, but that is, I just have the dust jacket right now, but Vengeful by V.E. Schwab, which I've been wanting to read for a while now, but since my book club decided that we were going to read it for November, I had to wait. So finally getting to it, really excited. This is a sequel to Vicious, which is kind of a superhero type of story, but
Very
focusing
dark.
all on villains, and it's villain against villain. Very fun, very dark. These are great books, so I'm really excited to read the next one. I am going to give the floor to Elias, who I told to pick out 5 books for me to read this month.
First off, she said I only had to do 5 books, and I threw that out. Rule book was thrown out. I have way too many books. Okay, the first choice is Mitch Albom's. Is that how you say his name? Album? Album? I'm going to butcher all of these names, but it is his book, The Timekeeper. I actually was suggested to read this by my papa from down south, and this is one of his favorite authors, and I read it, and I didn't really expect much from the book, but at the end of it, I don't know, it's a book that's kind of stuck with me, so I don't know if by any chance she'll have that. It's basically about a guy dealing with time, and there's like 3 different people kind of dealing with 3 different forms of time and life. And it's told in a very kind of poetic and prose way. So like the pages aren't normal. They're all very done like poetic and stuff. It's very quick read. Book 2 is We Are Unprepared by Meg Little Riley. And it's about a couple who moved from the city to Vermont and weather out a storm, and it's a storm.
Oh.
It's a sci-fi B-movie kind of storm. I actually have some things I adore about this and qualms, so I'm interested on if this will throw some debate up for this lovely lady here, so we'll see. That's book 2.
So you said it's about a couple. Is it a couple that reminds you of us?
No, not at all.
Oh. Okay, so not romantic.
Not at all. No,
not corny.
This is book 3.
Oh man. So I can actually take this one away since I was the one who bought it. So The Diviners is one that it seems like everyone has been pushing me to read lately. Like I've said before, I don't read a lot of YA, but this is one that's kind of been blowing up. It's got like a fun spooky premise, and it's got a very diverse cast, I hear, in it. I also got a pretty solid recommendation not too long ago from Franny for Thoughts, although she recommended the audiobook, which I was waiting for, but since he's picking for that, I will definitely read it this month. I feel like everyone's been pushing me to read it lately, so it looks like it's gonna have to happen.
I'm gonna make it happen, folks. So book 4. All right, I'm gonna try and mention this.
Wait, I know nothing about this one.
I know, and this was on your shelf.
Okay.
Book 4 is Stranger Things by Erin Healy. And I kind of just looked at her bookshelves, and this one popped out because we talk about Stranger Things some, and I was like, oh.
And a dating a stranger thing.
It seems like it's going to be a mystery thriller in a world of false accusations. That's all I'm going to say. It looks like a book that's going to really anger her. And so I decided to choose it to see if it would, or to see if it was worth a read. So.
Ooh. And from the cover, it looks like a good fall read. And mysteries are always good for that, too.
It doesn't look like a happy book, to be honest.
Does it not?
It doesn't seem like a happy book.
Well, I'm excited to be miserable. Maybe I should have this one with wine.
So book 5 is something she got with her Book of the Month Club. It's Beast of Extraordinary Circumstances by
Ruth Emmy Lang. This premise sounded great to me. It was, I think it follows a kid who is raised by wolves, and it has a lot of homages to, like, other children's books, and, like...
That's a wolf noise.
And everything after this is unwarranted, because I said only 5 books, but this guy never listens to anything.
No, I listened. And I thought I should upgrade this list. Book number 6, very thin, Cycle of the Werewolf by Stephen King. This was something I read for fun when I was trying to just get into more werewolf stuff, and there's some werewolf books out there, but there's not been anything that's like too crazy, and this one kept popping up, so I clicked it and read some of it, and then I went, I'm gonna buy this. The good thing about this is this whole book goes through an entire year of werewolf attacks, and there's lovely pictures to go along with every attack and every situation. So there's some gorgeous full-page spreads of just years and werewolf stuff, and it's all fun. So I think this is something she'll be like, oh yeah, I can see why it made the list.
And that adds to my goal this year of trying to read more Stephen King books. I have been reading at least one a month now, so this definitely continues this cycle. Now we're moving on to unwarranted book number 7.
That we are. This is my favorite ongoing comic book series, but I have it in a graphic novel form, some trade paperback. East of West.
Whoa.
By Hickman, Dragata, and Martin. I think I said that name right. If not, I'm so sorry. So this is, besides The Watchmen and probably The Walking Dead, is a comic book about the end of the world, but it's a sci-fi space western. It's told non-linear, and it's told in a very weird, specific way. The more you read, the more you actually discover. So I think they're on volume 7 or 8 right now. And I can go back, and I've done this before. I've reread this series multiple times, and you actually understand more that keeps going on every time. And it's very well made.
This actually looks really cool just from the art style. It looks like it has a lot of Eastern and Western styles to it.
Yes, so it is...
number 8.
All right, unwarranted number 8 is The Killing Joke. I absolutely adore Alan Moore. I love The Watchmen. This actually came into our work the other day, and I saw her eyeing it, and I asked her if she had read it. She said no, and this is actually, for the most part, the Joker origin story that everyone tends to agree on, even if it is not the true one or not. We don't know. You never know. But this is Alan Moore's take on the Joker's origin story.
Yeah, and I don't get a ton. I mean, I used to collect X-Men whenever I was like a kid. But, like, I haven't gotten into a lot of superhero stuff recently, other than, like, Watchmen. So this is actually something I've really been wanting to read for a while.
I will say that out of Alan Moore's stories, this is actually my least favorite. Yeah, and I actually got her to read A Small Killing by him, which is an indie comic that's really cool.
A very tasty artwork. It's very, very unique. I love really stylized stuff. So it was just sexy comic, very, very tasty.
Yeah,
Alan
if you
Moore
get a
is
chance.
Tasty man.
Really? And I'm interested to see if she thinks so as well, or if she really likes it.
Is there another she? Why are you pointing at me?
Okay, so for our 9th one, I noticed that I had... So, for our 9th story, I had noticed in my compiling that I had gathered quite a variety of stories for her to read.
Very well-rounded list.
And I went...
Voluptuous.
So I decided to go with something that is quite unusual in an audiobook. But even in the audiobook community, this is unusual. Our 9th entry is Joe Hill's Dark Carousel. It is a book released exclusively in the most hipster format you could find, an LP. So, all the LPs that were printed of Dark Carousel are actually all unique and different, and it's the way that they were printed, so not one of them will be the same.
I've never read a Joe Hill book, so...
Have an LP in there and just add some variety to it. But those were my choices. I know I kind of went over, and I feel bad for that, but I also think she's going to blaze through the list like wildfire.
You did a great job, babe. These are all things I'd really love to read. I'm really excited about the Joe Hill one. I haven't read anything by him yet. I'm reading a lot of Stephen King. It'd be fun to draw some similarities and whatnot.
That is
or differences.
True.
So
I bet it's going to be in Maine, and I bet someone's going to be a writer.
That's typically the situation. So with the theme of togetherness and family and all of that junk, this month I'm going to concentrate on collabing a bit, getting some friends and family in my videos. So you have that to look forward to, or dread. I don't know, whichever. So thank you guys for tuning in with us. We're so glad to introduce this cornball to you. And hope you guys have a good week. I'll see you again next Friday. Awkward outro! Does your car have an alarm?
No.